underwriting and ads in the responsive theme. If you have questions, you can feel free to enter them in the chat window, and I will stop after each section to answer your questions. So this is a pretty dense training. I would also remind you to register for the check-in tomorrow. It is at 3 p.m. in the afternoon Eastern time. If you can't make that time for any reason, you can reach out to Rakisha or myself, and we'd be happy to schedule another one. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So you guys might be familiar with seeing a few of the currently live responsive sites, and we do have some updates to how ads are presented and also how ads are configured in the back end. So we'll go through what's new with ads and the responsive theme. We're going to talk about connecting your ads. It's a little different than it used to be in the other themes that you currently are using, how to create new ad unit names, how to create custom ad targeting, and then we'll talk about the next steps for switching to responsive. One of the first things we wanted to do was make sure that Core Publisher is using the best practices when it comes to how Google DoubleClick for Publisher works with the Core Publisher setup. So we have updated our configuration, so now we are using the same setup that is relied upon for NPR, and that is also recommended by Google for use for DFP. Stations now have custom targeting available, so we have updated Core Publisher to allow for custom targeting if you are interested in doing that. You no longer need to do configuration in Core Publisher. Everything is handled in your DoubleClick for Publisher or DFP account. Ads also flow into posts and into the homepage river on your homepage. So we'll talk a little bit of what that looks like. We now have a few different additive options for ads on Core Publisher Responsive. On the desktop, you might be familiar with having a 300 by 250 medium rectangle in your right rail. Now you will have 3 300 by 250 medium rectangles instead of 2, so that's a addition for stations. You'll also have the option to do the 728 by 90, which is typically that pencil push down or the area right below the navigation. It's kind of a long ad unit space. On a tablet, you will have those same options. So you'll have one 728 by 90, and then you'll have 3 300 by 250 medium rectangles as well. For mobile, you have a designated spot for mobile now, so you have one 320 by 50. So you may be used to setting up your ads in Core Publisher. You might have done this a long time ago, but this is what the process looks like for modular and river stations. You would go to your ad configuration and you would see a screen that looks similar to this. It has your ad unit name, your block that you can select, and then you can select if you want it to go to a specific category or specific if you want it to go to your homepage only. And you have this ad configuration right now in Core Publisher that you've probably gotten pretty used to. In the new design, you no longer have to do that configuration in Core Publisher. That page will be going away. Now you will have to do configuration in your DFP account. And there are 3 steps to setting up your DFP account to connect to your responsive theme. The first step would be to log into your account and find your DFP network code, and we'll go through this together shortly. Once you get your DFP network code, you are going to send that to either myself or Rakisha, and we will add that to your Backstage account so you can actually see your ads while you're working on Backstage. You then will have to upload a CSV file into your DFP account that will allow you to create ad unit names. Your ad unit names are going to be what connects your ads to your blocks in Core Publisher. So previously you were able to say, oh, I want this to go in block 1, or I want this to go in block 2. Now you will have the ad unit name saved in your DFP account, and you can select which block you would like to go to using those ad unit names. And we'll go through that as well. Target, if you have a specific target that you would like to set up, so you want to target a specific ad to a specific program page, you can now do that in Core Publisher. For most stations, you typically will just have your ads go run of site, or ROS, and in that instance you would have the ad show up on every page and every place where that block appears. All right, so let's talk a little bit about getting started with connecting your Core Publisher site to DFP. When you log into your DFP account, you're going to go to your admin tab. And on your admin tab, you're going to find your network code. You also will have to select an ad unit prefix for your account. And an ad unit prefix, we typically recommend a station using their call letters, but it's basically an identifier for your specific station that we will use in your Core Publisher responsive theme that will say, okay, these ads are working with the KXWY station. So we need to have both of these in order to set up your configuration. Once you give us the network code from your DFP admin tab and you tell us what you would like your ad unit prefix to be, we will then add it to your responsive site. So this is where you're going to locate that network code. You're going to log into DFP and select your admin tab. And then you scroll down the screen just a little bit and you're going to see there's an area where you have a network code. For any station that works with NPM, if you have the PMI network or the PMI ops and they manage the DFP account for you, that's fine. We have given them a list of all stations that are in this cycle and they can do this work for you, but it's also really good for you just to be aware of what they are doing in your DFP account or their DFP account for you. So next, we will need you to find to upload a CSV into your DFP account. That CSV will include 6 of the normal standard ad unit names that all stations using the responsive theme will have to include. Those are top banner, leaderboard. So this is going to show the placement of the leaderboard block. Top banner tablet, which will show the placement of that top banner area if someone is on a tablet, so that's 728 by 90. Right rail first, which is going to be your first medium 300 by 250 medium rectangle. Right rail second, which will be your medium 2, which will be that second 300 by 250 medium rectangle. Right rail third, which will be medium 3, same thing, 300 by 250 in the third placement. And your mobile ad, which will be mobile_1. You have to upload these into your DFP account in order for you to be able to say, I want my ad for a specific unit to go to that block. So here's what the CSV looks like, and we will provide this to you in our follow-up email this afternoon. You will receive your backstage access if you haven't received it already in that email as well. We had a little bit of a delay, so don't worry if you haven't gotten your login access to backstage just yet. We'll make sure we get that out to you this afternoon. So the CSV, you just want to replace wherever it says My Call Letters. That's where you're going to put your actual call letters or whatever you would like to use for your ad unit prefix. And you can do a control find and replace anywhere it says My Call Letters with your new ad unit prefix, so you don't have to find every spot. But you do need to make sure that My Call Letters is replaced with your actual unique ad unit prefix. And then save that file on your desktop. Once you save that file, you can upload it into DFP. And you're going to go to your inventory tab in order to get to that upload screen. And under inventory, you will see an area that says bulk upload new ad units. You want to select the bulk upload new ad unit options, and then you want to find and browse your CSV file that you just saved on your desktop, and you want to upload it. It's going to show you a screen that's just confirming that it's all set, so you just want to make sure you see that confirmation screen. Once you import that list of ad unit names, that's going to make those blocks available for you to utilize in DFP. You do not have to recreate any of the ads that you currently are displaying on your live core publisher site, and you can do all of this setup right now in your DFP account. It will not disturb your live site, but it will allow you to see these ads on Backstage. So we want you to get used to these changes in DFP as soon as possible, and definitely upload this now. You don't want to wait until your launch week. And that way you can test it out on Backstage, and you can see how the ads show up in line and in different areas. All right, I just want to check and see if we have any questions before I move forward. All right, looks like I have a few questions here. If you go through NPM, will they do all these steps for us? Yes, if you do go through NPM, they will do these steps for you. It's just really good for you to know. So if you do have any custom targeting you would like them to do for you, you know what kind of language they'll need and the information they'll need from you. Where is the field for ad unit prefix? There isn't a field in on your side for ad unit prefix. You just need to send that prefix to us, and you need to make sure that you put that prefix in your CSV file before you save it. So we will add that ad unit prefix to your core publisher Backstage account for you, and then we'll make sure that it also goes into your site when we launch it live. So you just need to send the ad unit prefix and your network ID code to either myself or Rakisha. I will be providing these slides for you after today's call, so you can go through these steps all on your own and just have a refresher. And this also will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel within the next 24 hours, so you have some time to go back and play around with it. All right. So the next part of going to responsive ads and responsive would be, now that you have set up your, you've given us your information, so your network ID code, you also have given us your ad unit prefix. The next step after that is to actually associate your order line items with the new ad blocks that you just uploaded. So how do you do that? The first thing that you need to do is log into your DFP account and go to an actual order. You want to click on the name of the order, and that's going to bring you to your line items. So once you want to select a line item that's delivering right now, and once you select that line item, you're going to see various setting options. So the first setting, it's going to typically open on the Settings tab. The first setting item that you want to make sure you update is the inventory sizes area. You want to make sure that it includes all of the ad sizes that we offer in Core Publisher, and especially if you want to have this ad show up in all areas. 300 by 250, 728 by 90, and 320 by 50. And when you start to type in this field, it will autocomplete for you and show you these items in a list down below, so you can just check the box next to them. If for some reason you don't want this ad to show up on mobile, then you can just cross out the 320 by 50. Or if you don't want this ad to show up under 728 by 90 in that top banner area, then you don't have to. Typically 300 by 250 is the one that most stations will have all of their ads show up in. But you do want to make sure that those inventory sizes are there. If you don't do that in the beginning, then you won't be able to see your ad unit prefixes down below. So you want to scroll down the page, and you want to scroll all the way down to the ad targeting area. In the ad targeting area, you're going to notice that you are automatically, by default, on the Browse tab. On the Browse tab, you will see an area called Ad Units. You want to click on that folder, and it will actually open up for you. And you can begin to type in this field where it says type to filter items, and you want to start to type in your ad unit prefix that you created, so your station call letters. This station is called Aaron, so you will see that as I start to type in Aaron, all of the ad unit names that I recently uploaded will show up for me. And this is how you're going to choose which block you want that ad to show up in. For most stations, you want your ads to show up run of site, so that means in any place where a block is, an ad unit block is, you will include all of the ad unit names that you uploaded. So once you see your ad unit names down below, you want to click on the include option, and then it's going to bring it over to the selected criteria area right here. And that's how you know that that ad is going to show up in that block. You want to do that if you want this ad unit to show up across your site on every page, every post, every area where that block shows up. Then you want to make sure you include all of these ad units right here, the ad unit names. So you want to include all of the ones that you want that ad to show. For most stations, you just want to include them all. After you select all of the ad unit names that you want for that ad, all the blocks you want it to show up in, you want to make sure you click Save. Don't leave the page without clicking Save, or else it won't actually work. So make sure you click that Save button before you move forward. Once you do that, then it usually takes about somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes for them to start actually, any changes you make to start showing up on your Backstage site or on your Core Publisher responsive theme site. So you do want to make sure that you allow a little bit of time once you save those changes before you go back and check and see if they're showing up. Do we have any questions? All right. Can we launch without any ads and include them later? Absolutely. Ads are not required for Core Publisher. We provide it as an option, but you are not required to have ads on your site for launch or in general. Stations that don't put ads online don't have to do any of this. Correct. If you're not using ads now and you don't want to do ads to start with your launch, or you just don't want to have ads period, then you don't have to do this. This is specifically for stations that are using ads. And you may be interested in using ads in the future, so it's good for you to just have this knowledge on how to do it. If we make these changes to live ads, will they stop rotating displaying on the live site? No, it will not. So you're adding additional criteria to your live ads, but you're not taking anything away. And that additional criteria is only going to surface in the responsive theme. So if you have live ads right now and they are already targeted to certain areas, they will still continue to show up. If the leaderboard is used as a station promo, will that override the sponsor ad? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'll have to double check, but that's more of a DFP related question than a Core Publisher related question. So I think it depends on how you have your DFP set up and how you have your rotation set up. Is this for any kind of banner and not just underwriting, for example, a pledge drive banner or other internal ads? Yes, absolutely. You can use DFP for anything. You can use DFP for promotional items for community events. We are giving you the opportunity to use those blocks, and we are giving you the tools and technology to use those blocks, but the content that you put into them using DFP is totally up to you. For those of us who do use ads or are getting into it, do you have any sort of rate sheet or suggestions for that? We have Goodwill ads that are bonuses right now. I don't think we do. I probably can ask NPM. They might actually have more information regarding how to manage your ads. So I can reach out to them and see if they have anything they can share with us. If ads are built at 300 by 250, do we need to resize for other sizes? So the block itself is going to be 300 by 250. But if you had an ad that was smaller, that had a smaller width or a smaller height, then it still will service in that area. It depends on how you have set up your creative, but that's pretty much the max width and the max height. But if you have something smaller, it certainly will show up in that space as well. All right. So that is basically how you would connect your core publisher site to your DFP account in the new theme. We do have a little bit of advanced information here that is regarding custom targeting. So I'll go over that with you, and then I'll see if you guys have any additional questions. But this is more geared towards if you have a specific strategy. What is custom ad targeting? Custom ad targeting also allows you to target ads to show up or to not show up on a specific page of your site. So if you have, for example, an underwriter that wants to show up on your program page for all things considered, and they don't want to show up anywhere else, you can now target that page to show the ad specifically for that ad product. All ad targeting happens in DFP rather than core publisher, as I mentioned before, and we have given you the tools that will allow you to do custom ad targeting. However, we do not have additional troubleshooting to help with custom targeting because it is something that is really specific to a station and to your orders. So we do have links here to learn additional help and how-tos from Google. They have a really extensive support center that has very helpful information on how to get started in custom targeting, and we definitely recommend that you take a look at that. Before setting up your targeting, you really should have a strategy within your team there at the station. You want to make sure you know what needs to be targeted, what pages need to be targeted, or what categories on your site need to be targeted, where and why, what the benefit of doing that targeting is. So is that going to increase your numbers, or is that going to help you with your revenue? Will you get the same benefit from having an ad run a site and having it show up everywhere that you would from just targeting it to one specific page? So you really want to talk within the station with your teams that are working specifically with these underwriters and that are spending the time to sell those spots to get a really good understanding of what it is that your underwriters are looking for and what it is that your station is hoping to achieve. So how do you actually do this wonderful custom targeting? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to visit the appropriate page on your site. So you actually want to go to the specific page, program, topic, category, people page, or post. You really can get as granular as you like. If you want something to go down to a specific post, you can. If you would like something to target to all of your category pages or all of your program pages, and that's it, you can do that as well. So really, it's as robust or as granular as you want it to be. Once you get to that page, you want to actually right-click and select View Page Source. This is how everyone does it for custom targeting. This is not specific to core publisher. This is DFP best practices. So you want to find the target the key value pair. A key value pair is what is going to distinguish that specific page from other pages or areas of your site. So you want to do a control find and actually search for the word targeting. And that's going to give you a line of code. What I like to do is just copy that line of code and paste it onto a notepad or a plain text editor so I can see it, because there's tons of code in the page source. And what you're looking for is a set of 2 linked data items. So it's going to be within a bracket next to that targeting keyword. And you're going to see one item that is in quotes, and then it's separated by a colon, and then you'll see the second item. The first item is called your key, and the second item is called your value. So in this case, let's bring it down to an example here. If I would like to have an item that, a specific ad that goes to all of my ag pages. Ag pages stand for aggregate pages, so those are all of your people pages, all of your program pages, topic pages, category pages, and tag pages. An aggregate page is really any page within your site that has a river, and it's not the home page. So if I would like to target specifically to all of my ag pages, I would look at the key value pairs that I have there at the top of the screen, and I'll say, all right, I want this to go to type, which is my key, and ag, which is my value. If I wanted to go a little bit more granular, say I found this source code on my home page, and I say, I really want this, I don't want it to go to all of my ag pages, I actually want this to go specifically to my home page. Then you see here there is a key and a value for home page. So you see it's separated by a colon. These are 2 separate key value pairs. You'll see that the key value pairs will be separated by a comma. So my key will be ag, and my value, my specific, will be home page. So these are the 2 really important things that you need to know in order to set up a custom target. So how do you get this into DFP, and then how do you get this onto your core publisher site? You want to log into DFP, and you want to go to the inventory tab. On the inventory tab, you would need to select custom targeting. And this is what the page will look like once you get there. You'll see a list at the bottom if you've set up any custom targeting already. You'll see that at the bottom. And if you want to start with something brand new, you want to click on New Key. Once you click on New Key, you're going to go back to your key value pair. So, for example, we're working to get this ad on the home page. We need to set up the key value pairs first before we can even select an ad for it. So you want to take that key value pair that you had on your notepad, and you want to first add the key. So where it says name, you want to enter ag, and where it says, after you enter ag, you want to click add values. By clicking add values, it's going to give you the opportunity to enter in the value that you found. So your value is going to be home page. You want to type that right into the value section and click apply. Once you do that, you will notice that your key value pair is now available on that screen where a list of all of your key value pairs are entered. You can set up as many custom targeting key value pairs as you like or as you need. And you can also go back and change them as well. So if you needed to add more or needed to edit one, you could come back to the screen any time. All right, so now we found our key value pair, and we understand how to get it into DFP. So we have entered it into DFP. Now how do we add it to an actual ad or an order? So once you have completed the previous steps, you want to go to orders, and then you want to click on the name of the actual order that you want to work in. Once you get through to the line item screen, you want to select a specific line item. And then you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen and go to the ad targeting section. Now in this case, we want to click on the custom criteria option that you're going to see right here in the left-hand side of the page. So you're going to enter the field that you see available for you, and you're going to want to start to enter that key that you found. So we were looking previously for ag and homepage was our key value pair. So you want to start typing in ag, and it's also going to autocomplete for you, so you can easily select ag from the list below. Once you select ag from the list below, you'll see it automatically adds this is option. So you can keep it as is, that's saying this ag is, and then you're going to add in your value here. So you want to start typing in this field, and it's going to do that autocomplete for you again, and you will see homepage appear because that's one of the values you added for ag. And you can check the box next to homepage, and it's going to add it into this selected criteria area down here. You want to make sure you click that Add Set button in order to save that change. Now, what happens if you have an ad and you want to negatively target it? So you don't want it to show up on your homepage. So you found the key value pair for that page, and you're saying, I don't want this ad to show up on my homepage, but I want it to show up everywhere else. This is negative targeting. If you want to negative target an ad where you saw that is, there is a drop down where you can select is not, and you can enter in your key value pair and save. So that will change the custom criteria over here on the right-hand side, and now it will say ag is not homepage. So it's going to show up in your first medium block on every page except for your homepage. If you do have additional questions about key value pairs, there is a wonderful Google console that has full instructions about key value pairs and what value pairs are available in DFP. So I definitely recommend you check that out and review that as well. All right, so I'm just going to check and see if we have any questions. All right. I was talking about the mobile ad specifically, but original creative was built at 300 by 250. Okay. So for the mobile ad, the size is smaller, so it's a 320 by 50. So you will have to resize your creative if it's at 300 by 250. So for mobile specifically, it is 320 by 50 size. Can we target posts based on tags within Core Publisher? For example, all posts that have been tagged as energy or politics, yes, you can. As I previously mentioned, it really is as granular as you want it to be. So you would have to go to the source code for a page, or excuse me, for a post that has the tag on it, such as energy or politics. And then you would have to find the more granular key value pair. And you will see that there in that long line of source code. If a page in CP gets renamed from an original name, will the value pair need to change, or are the value pairs canonical regardless of updated names? I think it shouldn't matter what the name of the page is. The source code will update and be specific to whatever is current. So if you go to the source code and you look at that key value pair, it shouldn't change if you change the name of it. I think it's more based on ID. Posts are more based on ID as opposed to the name of the post. What is searching for targeting? Does not yield anything, not in a page short. So I can take a look at a page if you have. It definitely should show up in the page source. I'll show you an example from a live site. Let me jump out of my DFP here, and let's take a look in an actual browser at a site. So this is KETR. This is their home page. And if I right click and click on page source, there's definitely a lot of code in there. And I want to do control find, target, and there it is, targeting. So this is the long code that I typically will just copy and paste that into a plain text editor so I can actually see the granular items that I want. There's a lot of code in there. That's why I said it's easier to just copy and paste it as opposed to kind of trying to figure out what's going on here in this version of the code. But you can see once you actually have added your ads, you'll see like someone's using medium 3. He's using the medium 3 size here for something. And you can actually see what the ad unit name is that is in that section. But yeah, you definitely should have targeting on any page in Core Publisher. You go to a different page if you want to see that, aside from the home page. Control F. Target. And there it is. Targeting. So someone asked earlier if it was a post page or something, if they wanted to target specifically. You'll see an ID. I think every page or post has a very specific ID associated with it. All right. Let's see if there are additional questions here. If you are with NPM, will they be handling DFP? Yes, NPM will handle the DFP configuration for stations. We've given them a list of all the stations in this cycle. So if you want custom targeting, and for example, you want all of your medium 300 by 250 ads to only show up on your arts and culture page, then you should let NPM know, and then they can set that up for you. But they have a list of all the stations in this cycle, and they should do all of the steps that I went through with you today. They should do that for you. But you do have to let them know if you have something that's custom. Someone's not able to find targeting on their site. Let's take a look. In the modular theme, it might not be in the modular and river theme. It may be something that is in your responsive site only, but I'll double check that. But I know that they're definitely in the responsive theme. It probably isn't in modular and river because we're doing DFP in a different way in modular and river right now. All right, any other questions? Okay, so just a reminder of what our next steps are. You want to send us your DFP network ID. You either want to send that to myself or Rakesha Chase, and we will make sure we get that into your Backstage account. You also want to make sure you include your ad unit prefix, so that's typically just your call letters, and then you will use that same prefix to update the CSV file that we're sending out to you this afternoon, and then save that and upload it into your DFP account. You want to update all existing line items with your new ad unit name. So if you want to do run of site, you want your ad to show up everywhere where there is an ad possible, then you want to make sure you add all 6 ad units to that specific line item. And you do have to do that for every ad that you want to show up and have delivered in responsive. We also have our group check-in call tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. If you're not able to make that 3 p.m. time, let me or Rakisha know. One of us will be working with you, so you'll either hear from me or Rakisha this afternoon, and that's going to be your main contact going forward until you go live. So whichever person emails you your backstage access, that's going to be your main contact. I will make sure this recording is uploaded to our YouTube channel, and so you want to make sure you share this with your station, especially your underwriters or the people that are in charge of maintaining the ads on your site, so they are aware of what needs to be done in the setup side and how it can be utilized going forward and what those ad spaces are. All right, that's it for today. You actually get a few minutes back in your day. If you have any other questions, please feel free to enter them in the chat window. I'd be happy to answer them. But if not, then I look forward to speaking with you in the check-in call tomorrow. Definitely look out for that email from myself and Rakisha this afternoon, and you can get started in Backstage if you haven't gotten that email yet. All right, thank you guys. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.